Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shruti Smriti Purananam, Alayam Karunalayam, Namami Bhagavat Pada, Shankaram Loka Shankaram, Shankaram Shankaracharyam, Keshavam Badarayanam, Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande, Bhagavantau Punah Punaha, Ishvaro Gururatmeti, Murti Bheda Vibhagine, व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांशहस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। सुखं नित्यं स्वप्रकाशं व्यापकं नामरूपयोः अधिष्ठानं बुद्ध्यबोध्यं बुद्धेर्दृग्यत्तु निर्मलम् अपारं सर्ववेदान्त वेद्यं प्रत्यक्परं महः तदेवाहं न मत्तोऽन्यत् इति मे निश्चिता मतिः। The question was raised that is it possible for something which is relatively real to go away by relatively real thing or not? Basically the question started in this way, that if Brahman is real and Guru Vedanta Vakya are unreal, then how can those unreal Guru Vedanta Vakya etc. can destroy with avidya? Because unreal thing as in relatively real thing cannot produce any effect. And the example was given of that of mirage water. Mirage water is not capable of satiating thirst. And the further discussion proceeded, and it was concluded that the example that you have given is unjust, wrong, imbalanced, or improper. How so? The example that you have given about mirage water and thirst, they both have different plane of reality. Understand this way. Yes, it is true that Guru, Vedanta Vakya, etc. are relatively real from Brahman or absolute standpoint. Yes, it is true they are relatively real, but there is no such rule that for destroying a relatively real entity, you need a real object. That, yes, you have understood, I know. It is true that this samsara is mithya, relatively real. But for the destruction of this samsara, for this samsara to go away permanently, you don't need or you cannot have something which is real or absolutely real. Why so? Because those two things which have same plane of reality can affect each other. Two things can affect each other if and only if they have same plane of reality. Again, there is argument on this basic rule that we will be seeing today, but understand in this way. On these similar lines, understand one thing. Two things are one and the same. This is very beautiful point and important point. Two things are one and the same. They are not different from each other if both of them have same material cause or have same plane of reality. Or other way, if two things have different material causes and different planes of reality, then those two things are always different from each other. If two things have, again, this is slightly different from the current topic that we have, but an important point to remember and understand for our daily transactional life. Two things, if they have different material cause, Different material cause, upadana karana. Like mud is upadana karana, material cause for mud pot, and gold is material cause for golden pot. Because the material causes are different, those two things are different. Similarly, two things are different from each other if they both have different plane of reality. A gold pot seen, experienced in dream, and gold pot in waking state, they can never be one and the same. They can never be all together. They will be different all the time. Why? They all together have different plane of reality. Now, with this understanding, look at the world that we have right now. If we change our idea about the material cause of the things in the world, the whole equation is going to change. How so? The whole world is transactional reality, that's for sure. Vyavaharika satta. There is no object in this world which has pratibhasika satta except for illusions. They are not part of this world that has been accepted. We never say those are real world object or beings. Again, real, put that in inverted comma. Relatively real world. So we see mud pot and gold pot different from each other. Why? Because we have concluded that they have different material cause. But if we go further and inquire further, we will understand they don't have different material cause. For them, the material cause is one and the same, and that is avidya. Because of avidya, ignorance alone, whether it is mud pot, pot of gold, silver, of any material for that matter, it is one and the same. Why? Because it is superimposed on Brahman, and it is appearing because of material cause, that is avidya. Of course, here avidya we are taking because avidya predominant Brahman. Because Brahman is abhinna nimitta upadana karana, inseparable material and efficient cause. Now, in that case, the question is, which two things are different in this transactional plane? No two things are different from each other. Everything is one and the same. But this should be intellectual exercise and understanding for our own protection. Our own protection as in to protect ourselves from incoming sorrows from this world. We are not supposed to transact in this world with this idea. Transaction should be at the transactional plane based on transactional rules. Because with this concept and idea, no transaction will be possible. If everything becomes one and the same, how can there be transaction? Anyways, coming to the topic at hand, the Guru answered that Guru told the story of king who slept, dreamt that his leg has been bit by fox or jackal, and now he is crying for help. The question is, for that illusory dream, non-real fox or jackal, how many bodyguards were helpful? Bodyguards are real. That jackal, fox is relatively real, mithya, pratibhasika. But nobody could help. Why so? Because they both have different plane of reality. And what was helpful? The dream stick alone was helpful. The dream staff, wooden staff, that alone was helpful. So based on this, now the topic is going to go further. समसत्ताकयोः परस्परं साधकता बाधकता च. Sadhakata being cause and badhakata being the cause of destruction. संसार दुःखस्य गुरु वेदांतादीनांच समाना सत्ता अस्ति. Samsara dukkha, this sorrowful samsara or sorrows of this world, and Guru Vedanta, Vakya, etc. They have same plane of reality, that is transactional plane. Tasmat Gurupadeshena Vedanta Vakyesha Samsara Dukkha Kshayaha Yujyate. And therefore, Samsara Dukkha, the dukkha called as samsara, anyway you can split this compound. Samsara, which itself is dukkha, or the sorrows coming from this entire world, creation, can be destroyed, removed. They can be made to go away by listening to Vedanta Mahavakya from a competent guru. Yayoho parasparam satta samana तयोरेव परस्परम साधकतावा बाधकतावा भवति. Yayoho, of those two things, parasparam satta samana, have same plane of reality with respect to each other. Tayoho eva, in between them alone, in between those two alone, parasparam sadhakatawa badhakatawa bhavati. In between those two alone can be mutual cause-effect relationship or any reaction possible. They can affect each other if and only if they have same plane of reality. Those two things have same plane of reality. Tadyatha, just as mrudaha ghatasya cha samana satta. Satta samana. Mrud, mud, and ghata, mud pot, they have same plane of reality. You cannot have mud pot out of dream mud that you have collected in your dream. It is not possible. Had this been true, everybody would have been, no, not everyone would have been, understand, again, this is a fallacious logic, that if everybody could dream of things and bring them into reality, and everybody starts thinking of gold, the value of gold will go down. So the gold is of no use. Not everyone is going to get richer. Everyone is going to have the same amount of wealth that they have. Why? Because the value of product has gone down. Again, that's economics, not Vedanta. Mrudaha ghatasya cha satta samana. Tasmat, therefore, mrud ghatasya sadhika. Sadhika, it is the cause. What? Mrit. Therefore, because they have same plane of reality alone, from mud pot can be created. Vahnehe kashthasya cha satta samana. Vahni, fire, kashtha, wood, firewood. They both have same plane of reality. Or keep Vahni as fire alone. Either way. Ataha vahnihi kashthasya badhako bhavati. Therefore, because of fire, the wood gets burned and gets completely destroyed, annihilated. Sadhakam karanam. Karana, any cause, is sadhaka. Sadhaka, what is sadhaka? Being cause. That which is helpful in gaining something. Badhaka nashakam. That which destroys is badhaka. Badha vinasha. Marichikodakasya pipayasya sattana samana. Now, why did I say that the example that you gave, thirst cannot be quenched by mirage water? This example is fallacious, wrong, because They both, mirage water and thirst, have different plane of reality. How small point, how minute and very subtle point this is. But it is very important, and such subtle points and such subtle adjustments in our thinking towards this entire creation and world do help a lot. Ataha marichikodakam na pipasayaha badhakam. And because they both have different plane of reality, marichikodakam, that mirage water, cannot quench our thirst, which is in transactional plane. Marichikodakam pipasam na nivartayati yavat. This is the reason why Marichikodakam pipasam na nivartayati. Mirage water cannot satiate thirst. Atra idam akutam. What has been told here? Chaitanya paramarthiki satta asti. Chaitanya, the Brahman, is paramarthika, has paramarthika plane, the absolute plane of reality, or it is absolutely real. Empirical reality, at some places the word has been used empirical. Chaitanya bhinneshu mithya padartheshu vyavahariki va pratibhasiki va satta bhavati. Satta asti. So in sorry, Chaitanya bhinneshu mithya padartheshu vyavahariki va pratibhasiki va satta asti. In all the other objects different from Chaitanya, they either have transactional plane of reality, they have transactional reality, or apparent reality, apparent pratibhasika. Either they can be like, they can be from waking state or like dream state. Vyavaharika, pratibhasika, paramarthika sattanam varnanam. Now, what exactly are these Vyavaharika, Pratibhasika and Paramarthika Satta? They are being explained now. Before that, there is very small topic. Let's just go through this. When it was said that two things having same plane of reality can affect each other, I have a doubt. What is it? It's so simple. No. Let's think about this. If it's in Tippani, I have not taken that in slides, but we will just quickly go through it. Vishamasattakayoho api kvachit sadhaka badhako bhavaha drishyate. Sometimes it is seen that objects having two different planes of reality also do affect each other. How so? Sarvatra adhishthanasya sattapekshaya aropyasya satta vishamayava. Everywhere, that which is substratum and that which is superimposed, the substratum and superimposed, substratum rope, superimposed snake, they both have different plane of reality. Correct? Yeah, absolutely correct. Rope has, for the sake of example, rope has transactional plane, Vyavaharika Satta. The snake has Pratibhasika Satta, illusory, apparent. Then, atha aropyasya adhishthanam sadhakam bhavati. But tell me, what was the cause of that rope? What caused that rope to appear? Was it not rope? The rope has transactional reality. The snake has apparent reality. That apparent snake was seen on rope. If rope was the cause of appearance of apparent snake, then the rope which is in transactional plane caused or became instrumental for apparent snake. That means two things which have different plane of reality can be instrumental for each other. Before you answer me, let me go further. There is another example. What is it? शुक्तेः सत्ता व्यावहारिकी कल्पित रजतस्य सत्ता प्रातिभासिकी. Shukti, shell, has transactional reality. Kalpita rajata, imagined silver, is pratibhasika. तादृश रजतस्य साधकत्वं कारणत्वं शुक्तौ अस्ति. Same is the case with snake and silver. Now let's go further. I know you are going to talk about antahkarana vritti. You are going to go into that topic and confuse me to answer me. But I know all your tricks. Let me tell you. Antahkarana vritti rupa shukti yathartha jnanena rajata jnanayoho badha bhavati. Now, how do you really see that shell and the destruction of imagined shell silver goes away? Silver goes away. You are going to say because of the yathartha jnana, valid knowledge of shell. How does that knowledge take place? Because of antahkarana vritti. Now that antahkarana vritti is transactional plane real. Rajata ayathartha vritti is pratibhasika. So because of yathartha jnana, pratibhasika yathartha vritti or vritti which is in transactional plane, something which is in pratibhasika, which is apparent, got destroyed. Now tell me, how true is your rule that two things which have same plane of reality do affect each other? We should appreciate that at least he has taken pains to raise this question and has thought something about it. May that be half-hearted thinking or haphazard thinking. Anyway, the answer is atra evam samadhanam. Kevalam shukti. The points that you have raised are absolutely true, but you have not applied your thinking on both sides. केवला शुक्ति न रजतस्याधिष्ठानं न वा केवलं ब्रह्म जगतः अधिष्ठानं विवर्तोपादानं किंतु तूला विद्या सहिता शुक्ति रजत कल्पनाधिष्ठानं मूला विद्या सहितं ब्रह्म जगत कल्पनाधिष्ठानं. The simple answer is it's not just shukti or shell or rope cause of apparent snake. It was the ignorance of adhisthana which caused the apparent snake, and that ignorance has no transactional reality. Simple as that. And again, to emphasize, this is a very beautiful and important point. Again, Tula Vidya and Mula Vidya, these words, they are going to come ahead again. But this is a very beautiful and important point. What is the cause of my sorrow? If the ignorance which is apparent is the cause of all my sorrows which are apparent, then why should I be bothered about it? Of course, I'm going to experience as long as that has not been destroyed completely, totally annihilated because of Brahmajnana. That whole thing is absolutely true. But to win this war, 50%, first we have to understand these have no reality from Brahman standpoint. Have that shield, have that protection or armor of that intellectual understanding that all these sorrows, all these experiences have apparent reality or transactional reality. Anyway, if you want to say, if just you want to club this entire transactional plane is like dream, then this entire set of all these experiences are going to have apparent reality. But if we want to keep dream separate and transactional plane, that waking and dream, two separate states of experiences, then waking is going to be transactional plane. But from Brahman standpoint, again it is relatively real. Ignorance was the cause of apparent snake and other way. That antahkarana vritti is also not real. It has that same reality. Why? Because that antahkarana vritti destroyed antahkarana vritti, which both had same plane of reality. It never destroyed actual shell silver or silver. Why? Because it was never there. It can never destroy. So, what are these three states of reality? How do we separate them? How should we understand them? Vyavaharika satta. यस्य पदार्थस्य ब्रह्मज्ञानमन्तरा न बाधः किंतु ब्रह्मज्ञाने नैव बाधः भवति तस्य व्यावहारिक सत्तावत्वेन व्यपदेशः. That object or anything and everything which can be destroyed or which can get removed, badha, because of Brahmajnana alone. Other than Brahmajnana, they can never be destroyed or removed. That is Vyavaharika Satta. Again here, by word Padartha, don't take any measly object. Anything like pen or watch, no. This entire creation should be understood. Why? Otherwise also, even if you take all these small objects, what we are doing is we are changing just the form of those objects. Why? Because energy and mass, they are going to remain the same. Only the form is going to change. Anyways, so ब्रह्मज्ञानेतरा बाध्यत्वे सति ब्रह्मज्ञान मात्र बाध्यत्वं व्यावहारिक सत्यत्वम इति यावत्. Only the words have been changed, but what has been told is one and the same thing. That thing which gets destroyed by Brahmajnana alone and cannot be destroyed other than by anything other than Brahmajnana is Pratibhasika Satta, has Pratibhasika Satta. सा च सत्ता ईश्वर सृष्ट पदार्थेषु अस्ति. And that transactional plane of reality, that Vyavaharika Satta, is seen in everything which is created by Ishvara. Ishvara Srishta Padartha. What are Ishvara Srishta Padartha? All the objects that we are experiencing, but not our experiences. What is the difference? Simple. For any person, when we see any of our relatives, From in Ishvara Srushti, it's just Jiva, it's just a human being. But for our experience, it is either mother, father, son, brother, etc. All these, mother, father, son, brother, all these are Jiva Srushti. We have superimposed. They are not Ishvara Srushti. Ishvara, they never created a person as brother or father or something. Those are our own creation. That is Jiva Srushti. So Ishvara Srushta Padartha. All the objects in this world, they have Vyavaharika Satta. Yataha देहेन्द्रियादि प्रपंच रूपेश्वर सृष्टेः ब्रह्मज्ञानमन्तरा न बाधः भवति किंतु ब्रह्मज्ञानेनैव भवति. Why? Because starting from this body till Brahma, everything in this entire creation can go away only by Brahmajnana. Tasmat, therefore, Ishvara Srishta Padarthaha Vyavaharika Sattakaha iti Jneyam. Therefore, everything which is created by Ishvara or born from Ishvara has Vyavaharika Satta, transactional reality. Badhaha, the destruction, going away, is Aparoksha Mithyatva Nishchayaha. Underline this word Aparoksha Mithyatva Nishchayaha. Nishchaya, the firm conclusion, abidance, understanding, knowledge. Any word, it doesn't matter which word you use. The important thing is understanding the message here. Mithyatva, ness, and add suffix ness, relatively realness. Now this word you are not going to find in English dictionary, but only that word can be used. Mithyatva. They have mithyaness. They are unreal. Such nishchaya, such firm knowledge. But how firm? Aparoksha, aparokshataya. It should be my own, aparoksha, direct, without any doubt. Such understanding is badha. Why is such confusing and tricky definition? I'm going to explain that. But let's just tackle with what is Vyavaharika Satta, Pratibhasika Satta. Okay. Right now only it has been taken. Okay. Tatha Choktam Panchadashyam. In Panchadashi, it has been explained. What has been said? Na pratitistayor badhaha kintu mithyatva nishchayaha no chet sushupti murchadau muccheta yatnato janaha paramatma vashesho hi tatsatyatva vinishchayaha na jagadvismrutir no chet जीवन मुक्तिर न संभवेत. ना प्रतीतिस्तयोर बाधः. अप्रतीतिः तयोः बोधः न अथवा बाधः न. अप्रतीतिः, अप्रतीति, not experiencing, not of experiencing, apratitihi, tayoho badhaha na. Tayoho, of those objects, badhaha, badha, destruction, is not. Not experiencing is not destruction. But what is the destruction, badha? Mithyatva nishchayaha. Of course, because he was trying to fit in the meter, or because it is common sense, the word aparoksha has not been used here, but it should be understood. Why? Because it's common, simple logic. No chet sushupti murchadau. No chet. If such is not the case, sushupti murchadau. Sushupti, deep sleep. Murcha, fainting. Janaha ayatnataha muccheta. People will get liberated without any effort. How? Let's understand. This is very important point, and again, slightly intellectual exercise, but important to understand. What is badha? Destruction. Mithyatva nishya, aparoksha mithyatva nishya. The direct understanding that they are relatively real. Why? If not experiencing, I'm slowly going to go into the details of this, because not experiencing was the definition of badha, destruction. Then the objects in this world are not experienced when we faint or when we go into deep sleep. Nothing is experienced. Does that mean badha, the destruction, has taken place at that point? No. Then what happens to those objects? It is called temporary dissolution. There are two words, temporary dissolution and permanent dissolution. Another word in Sanskrit is, or our in Indian language, is nivritti. Laya rupa nivritti and karana rupa nivritti. Karana sahita nivritti. Laya rupa nivritti, laya, dissolution. Destruction in form of dissolution, and destruction permanent, getting destroyed permanently. What is the reference here? Understand. This entire creation, including Jiva and Ishvara, has transactional reality. That transactional reality is going to go away. The badha will take place on account of Brahmajnana. So when Brahmajnana takes place, how do I understand that badha has taken place? You have to understand that badha has taken place when you have this aparoksha, understand, aparoksha knowledge, or you know directly out of your own experience that what I am experiencing right now is not real. It should be your own experience, it should be your own knowledge, and not because somebody has told you so. That's why author in earlier sentence, if you can see again, aparoksha mithyatva nishya, the word has been used, aparoksha mithyatva nishya. Now why emphasize on this word aparoksha? Understand. Let's take two examples. Why? Because those two examples have different types of superimpositions. First, let's take an example of snake appearing on rope, and another example of mirage water appearing on desert land. Now, the snake is appearing on rope. I am afraid. I am incapable of thinking and inquiring. A person comes, he says, it's not snake, it's rope. Look at it. Be careful. See, look at it. But I'm so frightened and terrified that I am not able to look, inquire, etc. Now, when another source of light is brought in front and that area is well lit, and I look at it, then I understand, oh, the snake was never there, it was rope all along. Now, when I see rope, then alone, when I see rope, then alone, I can firmly conclude that snake is mithya. But the problem, or not problem, but the thing with this example is, when snake rope is seen, the experience of snake is going to go away. The appearance of snake is going to go away. Yes, it may appear again at some other point of time, but for that time frame, it is going to go away. Why? Because of nirupadhika brahma, superimposition, type of superimposition. But let's take the other example of mirage water and sand and sun rays, etc. The appearance of water is so strong that we think that there is lake or large water body in front of me. In reality, there is nothing but sand and that heat of sun alone. There is just sand, heat, sun rays, nothing else. Yet I see water. Which water? Mirage water. Now, if somebody tells me, no, that water is real, not there, it's not real, am I going to believe him? Initially, no, of course not. Why? Because I believe my own experiences. But if the person takes us at that particular point where the water was seen, and when I go near that place and experience myself that no, it's just sand, the heat of the sun rays falling in that particular direction, etc. Of course, imagine this whole thing has been explained to me. Yet, even after understanding how and why, okay, let me just start from the beginning. The whole thing has been explained to me. How mirage water appears, my position, the relative position of the sun rays falling in one particular angle, the appearance of water created by that sun rays falling on that dry land, etc. Everything has been explained to me, and thus proved that mirage water is an appearance. But when I go actually in the desert and see water, I will have doubt. Yes, it is true. It has been explained to me. All the conditions are true. All the conditions are fitting in that particular place. Everything is conducive for appearance of water. Yet, it is possible that there might be a lake in between. Now the doubt has cropped up. Why the doubt has cropped up? Because you have not experienced yourself that land, that place where the water is appearing. Only when you go near that water, that place, that area where water was appearing, and you see, no, there is just land alone and there is not even a drop of water, then you can firmly say out of your own experience that mirage water is mithya, not real. Then you come back to that same place where you stood earlier. Then you come back to that same place where you stood earlier and look at that place again. Now, unlike the snake rope example where After seeing rope, the appearance of snake went away. Here, the appearance of mirage water is not going to go away. And yet, you can firmly say, no, there is not even a drop of water. It is mithya. The water is mithya. Earlier statement, mirage water is mithya, and the latter statement, mirage water is mithya. What is the difference? The earlier was paroksha nishchaya. It was intellectual understanding because somebody told you so, you believe in that person, but it was not verified by your own experience. And in latter case, it was verified by your own experiences or experience. Same is the case with this creation world. You can say this, you can say how much ever you can say this world is mithya, unless you have verified it by yourself on account of aparoksha brahmajnana, that mithyatva nishchay is going to be paroksha. I'm not saying that it is not helpful at all or it is not useful at all. Of course it is helpful, of course it is useful, of course it is necessary. Why? Because that's how we are going to go further in our sadhana, in our pursuit of brahmajnana. Why? Because that's our first line of defense against the sorrows coming from this world. But that is not sufficient. So what was explained earlier, na pratitihi tayo badha kintu mithyatva nishchaya. But why such deliberation? Why are you trying to emphasize that mithyatva nishchaya? Simple. If not experiencing was badha, everybody would have got liberated. For everyone, their avidya, this entire creation would have got destroyed when they went to sleep or fainted. Why? Badha. Apratiti. So apratiti, not experiencing, is not solution. And this is again very important point. Not experiencing. If you are trying to run away from this samsara by just closing all your senses and terminating all experiences, it is not going to help. It is really unfortunate to say this, but no psychedelic experiences by drugs. Now this is very much prominent and I don't know from where it has cropped up, and science is somewhere, scientists are trying to corroborate it, go into its details and pursue I don't know what, but no such experiences are going to help. Why? Again, the topic is going to come. It is caused by ignorance. You are going to create n number of ignorances within that particular ignorance, but they are not going to help. If you ask Vedanta, Vedanta is going to say, I'm sorry. Any experiences you may have, unless that experience is of Brahman, your ignorance is not going to go away. Don't worry. I will always be there for you. So this is mithyatva nishchaya. Again, Paramatma Avashesha, the second verse is there. We will think about it and further. Why aparoksha mithyatva nishchaya? What is transactional reality? What is pratibhasika? All these three planes of reality. And furthermore, what is causing them? How to understand them? That is with reference to Tula Vidya and Mula Vidya. The ignorance of Brahman and ignorance of objects in this world. How they affect each other. Why it is important to have this understanding for the sake of differentiating Pratibhasika Satta, Vyavaharika Satta, Why should we differentiate between Pratibhasika Satta and Vyavaharika Satta? That is apparent reality and transactional reality. Even though from absolute standpoint, both of these are one and the same. Whether you club them into one or keep them separate, why does it matter from standpoint of Brahman? Why? Because from standpoint of Brahman, whether it is Pratibhasika or apparent, Paramarthika, Vyavaharika, transactional or apparent, they both are not real. It doesn't matter what name you call them. Yet it is important to differentiate between these two. Why? That we will see, but in next class. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om